September 17th, 1944. My heart is pounding like a drum against my ribs. In a few hours, I'll be one of thousands of paratroopers jumping out of a perfectly good airplane right into the heart of occupied Holland. They're calling it Operation Market Garden, a name that sounds almost peaceful, like a Sunday stroll. But we all know the truth. This is the big one. The one they say could end the war by Christmas. The briefing was a blur of maps, code names, and objectives. The market part is us, the Airborne Divisions. The 82nd, the 101st, and the British 1st. We're to drop from the sky and seize a series of key bridges, creating a 60-mile-long carpet of airborne troops. The garden part is the British XXX Corps, a massive armored force that's supposed to race up this carpet, right into Germany's industrial heartland. It's a bold plan, maybe the boldest of the war. Some of the older sergeants are calling it audacious, others are calling it insane. All I know is, my C-47 transport plane is rattling like it's about to fall apart, and below us lies a country I've only ever seen on a map. The green light flashes. The jumpmaster screams, "Go, go, go." And just like that, there's no turning back. The air rushes past me, a chaotic roar drowning out everything else. I count 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, and then a violent jolt as my chute opens. The world goes from a roaring blur to a strangely silent panorama. Below me, the Dutch countryside is a patchwork of green fields and canals, dotted with hundreds, no thousands of parachutes blossoming in the sky like strange khaki-colored flowers. It's a beautiful, terrifying sight. For a moment, you could almost forget there's a war on. But the distant crackle of machine gun fire quickly brings you back to reality. My feet hit the ground hard, rolling to absorb the impact, just like we practiced 100 times. I'll clip my harness, my hands shaking slightly. All around me, guys from my unit are doing the same, gathering their gear, forming up into squads. The immediate objective is to secure our landing zone and link up. Shouts of able company over here, and keep your heads down. Cut through the air. We're near a town called Groesbeek. Our mission: secure the high ground here to protect the advance of the rest of the division and prevent German reinforcements from attacking the bridges at Nijmegen. The Dutch people will never forget their faces. They came running out of their homes, waving orange flags, crying with joy. They offered us apples, milk, anything they had. For long years, they lived under occupation, and to them, we were liberators, angels falling from the sky. An old man grabbed my hand, tears streaming down his face, repeating thank you in broken English. It's moments like that you hold on to. It reminds you what you're fighting for. It makes the fear and the uncertainty a little more bearable, but the celebration was short-lived. The Germans weren't just going to hand over these bridges. The fighting was sporadic at first, then intense. We pushed forward, clearing farmhouses and small clusters of trees. The sound of our M1 Garands echoed by the sharp ripping sound of German MG-42s. We called them Hitler's buzzsaws for a reason. Every hedgerow, every ditch could be an ambush. You learn to trust the guy next to you with your life, to communicate with hand signals and frantic whispers. We took our objectives on the Groesbeek Heights, digging in as instructed. From our position, we could see the main road, the corridor that the 30th Corps was supposed to be driving up any minute now. We just had to hold. The days started to blur together, held the line against counterattacks from Panzer Grenadiers and remnants of German units that were tougher, more organized than intelligence had predicted. The nights were the worst. The darkness was absolute, broken only by the flash of explosions and the eerie green glow of flares. You'd sit in your foxhole, rifle clutched tight, listening to every snap of a twig, every rustle of leaves, convinced the enemy was just feet away. Sleep came in short, fitful bursts. Rations were low. Ammunition was precious. Kept looking south, down that road, waiting for the tanks. News trickled in over the radio, patchy and unreliable. The 101st was having a tough time down south near Eindhoven. The road, our lifeline, was being cut by German attacks. They called it Hell's Highway. Every time our guys cleared it, the Germans would cut it again somewhere else. The tanks of the 30th Corps were moving slowly, too slowly, getting bogged down in traffic jams and fighting for every inch of ground. And then we heard about the British up at Arnhem. The news wasn't good. They had dropped furthest from the main force and had run into two SS Panzer divisions that intelligence said were ND there. They were cut off, surrounded, fighting for their lives for a bridge that was just a bridge too far. We could do nothing but hold our position and pray. We fought off another major attack near Mook, the Germans trying to break through our lines and split the airborne corridor. It was brutal, close quarters fighting. We were tired, hungry, and running out of everything. But we didn't break. We knew that if our little piece of the puzzle failed, the whole operation would collapse. The spirit of the men was incredible. Guys with minor wounds would refuse to be evacuated, patching themselves up and getting back on the line. The jokes got darker, the laughter a little more strained, but we were still in the fight. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, we saw them. The unmistakable shape of Sherman tanks from the British Guards Armored Division rolling up the road towards Nijmegen. A wave of relief washed over us that is impossible to describe. We had done our part. We had held the corridor open. But our relief was tempered by the grim reality. The advance had stalled. The Nijmegen Bridge was taken after a heroic and costly river crossing by our own 82nd Airborne guys, but it was too late. The radio went silent from the British at Arnhem. The operation, the grand plan to end the war by Christmas, had failed. We were pulled off the line a few days later, replaced by infantry units. We were no longer the spearhead. We were just soldiers holding a piece of liberated but devastated land. The mood was somber. We had lost so many good men. Friends I'd shared jokes with on the plane were gone. For what a 60-mile salient into Holland that led nowhere. A failed gamble. Looking back, they say Market Garden was 90% successful. We captured most of the bridges and liberated a large part of Holland. But that last 10%, the bridge at Arnhem, that was everything. We learned a hard lesson in Holland. Courage and determination could and always overcome a flawed plan and bad luck. The war wouldn't be over by Christmas. There was still a long, hard road ahead. Thanks for watching. It's important that we remember the stories of these brave soldiers and the sacrifices they made. If you found this story meaningful, please like this video and subscribe for more chapters from history. See you next time.